Yep. Hey guys! Welcome
Hey,
back
everyone.
to another live.
I'm Marina.
And I am Kennedy.
And today we are going to talk about layering.
If only we had a nice example of a shirt here on the table of the design that we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, many of you probably recognize this shirt. This was something that Emily did for one of our ad campaigns that's going around. So if you've noticed it on Facebook and on Instagram, it was the final product, and we've had so many comments on this particular shirt and on this particular shirt and on the layering process in general.
Yeah. So we thought, what a better opportunity to combine the two.
That's right. So glitter to me is probably one of the more challenging vinyls to layer, in that you actually don't layer it, you do more of a knockout. And so when we talk about knockout, we are, it's hard to see.
I don't see anything.
There's a weeding box in there. So that's one of the first challenges with glitter.
I'm 100% convinced that nothing has been cut into this. Look!
Is it? So maybe I put the wrong piece on the table, and this was like the throwaway piece. Emily, can you hand us that piece of champagne over there?
Over where?
So, here, I'll give you the red one. It's on this table right here, Emily. So one of the I guess the toughest things about glitter is the cut lines. The cut lines are very hard to see a lot of times. So, yep, it's in here. Yep. So there are a few ways to kind of make those cut lines pop out. So one of the things that I did for these designs is, you'll notice that there's a box around each of them, and that's just a weeding box so that we can find where the design is. I know that there are some other tips and tricks, like weeding by the window, which we don't have here. I wish we did, because some of this stuff was really hard to see. The baby powder method, and we definitely want to go over that in the weeding tips and tricks live that we want to do for you all. And also, what are some other things? Baby powder, light, a headlight. I use a headlight at home, and I think that's about it.
And what about the tip that we were trying to attempt before the live?
Oh, yeah, so we've got to figure that one out, but so I do know that some people will use the pen in their Cricut machine to kind of trace over their designs to kind of highlight the lines that way also. So that, I've never done that before, but I definitely want to take a look at that and see how that's going to work, because that seems really cool also.
How are we looking, Emily?
You have one person that said, "Hey ladies."
Hi.
Hello.
And you're at 180 people watching with you.
Wow.
Hi.
Hello,
Thank you.
everyone.
So let's talk about the knockout method. The knockout method with glitter, and this is what we always say when we say you can't really layer glitter, but you can do a knockout method. So this is kind of the outline of the design. So we've knocked everything out except for the outline. So now with each of the individual colors, we're going to place them inside of this particular outline. So it's kind of just like when you color. One color at a time, we'll place them in each of these areas and then go ahead and press it on our shirt. So right now we're just going to get some of this stuff weeded. And this one really
is giving you troubles.
Oh yeah, I can't even see this one. I should have done this one by the window. Hey Megan.
Yeah.
Can you weed this one for me by the window? That might help. Megan loves to weed you all.
She does.
Which one?
This one, the little blue Eeyore.
I sure can.
Guys, the gang is back together.
That's right.
We've got our full marketing team on hand as of today. And man, are we happy to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, so you have something like all over.
Alright.
So I need to weed away the inside, right?
Yes.
Like the eyes.
Because you see his little bags and his eyebrows here. So that is another good tip or trick for when you are weeding out something, whether it be glitter or whatever. If you have a picture next to you of what it is that you're trying to create, then a lot of times that helps also because you can refer to that picture. See, little poo was way easier to weed. I'm just gonna remove the weeding box from around them also. We don't want that still on the shirt. And you can begin to put it together just to make sure that everything's gonna come out right also. So poo is gonna fit in there like this.
Do you see these little strings here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, did those stay?
So it looks just like that.
Yeah, well, that doesn't tell me much. We got any questions coming through, Emily? How is everyone doing? Are you guys working on any specific crafts? We are so excited to be back, so we want to hear from you guys and talk to all of you.
You got a couple people just saying hello.
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 Thank you guys.
Say
for
how
joining
many people
us.
and you have 372 people with you right now.
Hello,
Hey.
372 wonderful, beautiful people.
I just got sweaty. That's so nerve-wracking. I think I got them all. Anything else I need to read?
Can you hand me those scraps right there on that thing too? Because I think some of the pieces are in there. So this is Eeyore. Let me take off this weeding box. You see anything cut in this? Like I did the white already.
Not that I'm seeing.
The red, little blue shirt. Okay.
We do have someone that wants to know if we have metallic vinyl.
That is a great question. We do have metal vinyl, which is very similar to the metallic vinyl. Is that what you're referring to? We have like silver and gold. We used to carry a metallic vinyl, but we no longer carry that one. We found that the metal kind of held up better. So now we just carry the metal.
We do have metallic options for adhesive. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But I definitely think the metals and also the foils can give you that
Foils
kind
is a
of
great option.
really metallic sheen.
Okay.
You do have a couple of questions. One person wants to know, has said, I've never layered before, I'm scared to.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. As you can see, it is it's quite a process. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, you just start right away and everything goes perfect the first time, because we struggle ourselves to get, you know what, Megan, she's got it right here, thank you. I'm looking for Pooh's shirt and I'm like, wait, where's his shirt? So, and especially with glitter, because like I said, glitter is so hard to see. But with the Cricut, if you are new to layering, I think that it works out well for you because of the simple fact that, when you put your design together, Cricut separates it for you by mat. And I find that extremely helpful. On the silhouette, you separate it yourself, and that's fine. But, if you're new to this, then that might be something that, makes it a little bit easier for you if you're working with a Cricut. I don't know what machine you're working with. So I guess I should take this opportunity to let you all know about this particular SVG also.
Yeah.
Because what we did was, like I said, Emily put this together, and she colored it and cut it and everything. And so we thought, because so many people loved this image and loved the way that it came together, we thought that it would be a great idea to go ahead and provide the SVG to all of our viewers. So if you are watching right now, the SVG for this particular design is available on our website. And if you go on the website to the resources tab and the SVG spot, you will see it under the free section. So take advantage if you're interested. Go ahead and take advantage and download it, and then
it's a free SVG that you can play with. If you're new to layering, you're new to the knockout method, you can download this SVG and try a bunch of stuff out. Maybe try using some glitter as well, and try out some of the weeding tips and tricks that we will further explain to you guys, but we mentioned a few as well.
And when you're taking a look at the SVG, it is all grouped together. So the first thing that you want to do when you get it is ungroup it, and then everything should be grouped by color. And so we went ahead and tested it out and cut everything. So if you have any trouble with the SVG, please let us know. But once you ungroup it, you should be able to pull everything apart the way that you want to. If you want to do weeding boxes, you can do that at that time, and then go ahead and cut it. You want to talk about the colors that we're using?
Yeah. I do have someone that wants to know, they missed the beginning, so they want to know what you're doing.
Okay.
So today we are focusing on layering. We're working with some glitter HTV. We have had an ad posted for Brilliant Vinyl for a while now, demonstrating the process of making the shirt, but it's a kind of faster video, so we wanted to really sit down with you guys and talk to you guys about the process, everything that went on behind making this shirt, and hopefully help you guys with some layering tricks that you've been wanting to know. So we have recreated the SVG and cut everything out on some of our glitter HTV that we sell here at Brilliant Vinyl, and we're just gonna walk you guys through the process.
All right. So what colors did we use?
So we have copper, glitter copper, we have glitter black, glitter champagne, glitter flamingo pink. This is old blue, right?
Yes.
Old blue, red, glitter white, and lemon sugar.
That's right. So these were the colors that were available to us in the Siser Glitter line, and we just thought that these colors worked well together. I know we had someone comment on the video and say that Tigger was orange, not really copper, but this was the closest color, orange. And so we took creative license and we decided to make Tigger copper. And so you can make them whatever color you like. You can do it with regular Easy Weed. Make the design your own. So we will get started layering. We've got it all weeded out. Everything fit together. We didn't forget to mirror anything. That's always my biggest fear.
Everything weeded just fine.
Thank you, Megan, for helping us out with Eeyore, because I could not see. So let's go over to the heat press.
Someone does want to know what the weeding box helps with.
So, do you want to explain? Because I don't think I'm on anymore.
Okay. So the weeding box is kind of just like a square or a rectangular shape that you can put around your design. So let's see if I have an example. I don't have an example, but so essentially if you have a full piece of, HTV here that you've cut your design onto, you don't want to waste the entire piece. So if you just put a rectangle around the small part of your design, you can weed away the rectangle, and it's just kind of, it's going to help you a little bit to be able to see where your cut lines are.
Especially if you have a full sheet of vinyl, right? Because
Yeah.
the design could be anywhere on there, but if you have a weeding box, if you start weeding out the box, then it helps you find your entire design a lot faster.
Yeah. And that way you can just kind of cut the rest of the sheet away and put it aside for a future project.
Okay, are we on the heat press?
Yes.
Okay. So right now I am just trying to find the center of my shirt. So I folded it in half horizontally and vertically, and I just want to make a big old X so I know where the center is, so I can kind of line my design up. You can see that. So now that I know where the center is, the first thing I'm going to start with is my outline. And know that your glitter is going to shrink a little bit, so you can expect that, and we can try to make concessions for that by cutting where we need to cut. So let's take a look at this and see how well we do. Typically I like to do it about 3 inches down from the top. I'm trying to see, is this on there even?
We have have our Teflon sheet attached to the top of our heat press, very conveniently with some magnets so that we will never forget our Teflon sheet ever again. It's always there with us no matter what we're pressing, and it's very, very helpful. I forget that it's there, but it's doing its job, you know?
Can I see that? Never fails. I always find one piece that was not weeded when I go to press it. And let me take that out now. And by one, I mean two. Here's another piece. I just looked at that. Now, if you ever find that you, after you've pressed it, you notice that you forgot to weed an area, all you have to do is heat the design from the inside of the shirt, and with the, and I know we showed you all before, but with kind of the iron or whatever you're heating it with, underneath like this, you can peel it off the top and it will come off. So that's something to remember too, just in case you ever forget to weed a section.
You guys do have a couple of quick questions.
Okay.
One person wants to know, how do you know what order to do the layers in?
So I am actually just going to do it in, I don't have a particular order. I'm going to start with the outline, and then I'm just going to go from there. So I'll probably do the orange next and then just work my way around. If I'm trying to weed, if I'm trying to heat press multiple colors at one time, then I'm going to do it in a way that the carrier sheets don't overlap. So I might do one color over here and then one color way over here, and then press it down, which we may be able to do that with Pooh and Tigger. So let's take a look at that. And you'll see that all I did was like a 3-second tap, just long enough to get the glitter to stick. That's all I wanted to happen right now. So let's go with, and that also helps with the vinyl shrinking up.
Yeah, the least amount of presses that you can do, the better.
Someone also wants to know, why did you layer them and then unlayer them to then put them on the heat press?
With the carrier sheets and everything, just kind of setting them on top. We just wanted to make sure that everything lined up correctly, everything was matching and fit together correctly, and we had everything weeded that was supposed to be weeded. We're not able to press them all at the same time because they are all on their separate carrier sheets. So they would kind of overlap on top of each other and they wouldn't be pressing directly onto the shirt, so that's why we have to do it one at a time.
And from here on out, it's just kind of like a puzzle, just getting it to line up the same way we did before. Trying to eliminate as much of the white space from the white t-shirt as we can. And sometimes you may see there may be a gap.
But sometimes that's unavoidable with shrinkage.
Right. And if you've been doing it for a long time, then you probably know how to compensate for that gap when you're cutting the glitter. I think Miss Doreen has talked about that a couple times in some of the lives that she has done, so that might be something to think about also. There we go.
It's looking pretty good to me.
All right.
What camera are we on right now, Emily?
Heat press.
I just wanted to talk to them about the fact that we have gotten back to our same-day shipping guarantee, so that has been updated on our site. So if you place your order with us before 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, we guarantee to ship it out to you that same day. We had a lot of orders coming to us in the past few weeks, so we had to adjust our shipping times a little bit, but I'm happy to announce that we are back to our same-day shipping guarantee, so it's pretty good news.
All right. That's good to hear, and I know so many of our customers are so happy to hear that.
Yes.
Alrighty. And I hope you all can see what it is I'm doing. My arm's not blocking.
Just a little, but it's okay.
Oh, just a little. Okay.
Okay.
Is that a good view of it now
Yeah.
that I've laid that down?
Yeah.
Perfect. And again, just keep doing the same thing. One layer down, just a couple seconds, and then right back up. I'm not even, clamping the heat press. I'm not doing that all the way either. I'm just kind of, up, and this one didn't stick. So I want to press this for maybe another second or two. Now let's try it. Much better. And the 1 to 2 second tack is okay because, think about it. The first layer that we put on has now been pressed a few seconds, so it's probably up to about 10 or 15 seconds.
So once we get to the last and final layer, we will then press it for the full amount of time and you will be good to go.
Yeah. All we've got is the pink left. All we have is the pink left.
And pink and the white.
Pink and white, all right.
Someone wants to know, is it better to use a heat press or an iron?
So there are some products that you can use an at-home iron with, but a lot of products do require a certain amount of pressure to properly adhere to your shirt. I definitely recommend using a heat press with glitter or like a stretchier vinyl that you may be working with, just because they require a lot of pressure. We do offer something called our Starcraft Soft Flex, which is an HTV vinyl, and it has a little bit of flexibility to it. All the colors are going to be a matte finish, but the reason I recommend this for an at-home iron is because it only requires a temperature of 285 degrees Fahrenheit, and you only need a medium amount of pressure for 8 to 10 seconds. So that's what I like to recommend people who maybe don't have a heat press and they are working with an at-home iron. Soft Flex is a good place to start.
Someone wants to know if they could use their Easy Press. Would that work as well?
What do you think?
Yes, the Easy Press I think will work if you can get the right amount of pressure with it. And with glitter, I think it would probably work good, like she said. Oops, sorry. With some of the ones that require, and you see we've got our pressure kind of cranked up on here. So you really want to make sure that you can get that good pressure with the Easy Press. But I think the Easy Press will do well with the Siser Easy Weed and the glitter and things among that line.
So did you press it for the full amount of time?
Yes, so that last press, I left it on there for the full 15 seconds. And we'll take it over here now.
Can we go to overhead?
So, looks like one of his little eyes came off. So, okay, so let's talk about what happens with something like this. So I noticed that in weeding, like I said, with glitter, a lot of times it's really hard to see. So I noticed that Tigger is down an eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Cricut software and I'm going to contour the outline and just leave his eye and his, maybe even two eyebrows, his eye and his two eyebrows, and then I am going to just cut those and then lay those right on top, and then that way, my design is complete. So please understand, especially if you're new, that things go wrong all the time, but there is usually a quick fix for them, and so, don't get frustrated with something like this. Let's just figure out how can we fix this. Go ahead and add it back a few more seconds, one more press on there won't hurt the design. So we'll go ahead and add in what we needed, and then our design will be complete.
So even though Tigger only has one eye, this is such a cute shirt, and it's such a good thing for you guys to try out because the SVG for this particular design is on our website currently at this time. And it's a free download, so you guys can play around with it, get the hang of layering, and then try out more designs from that point on.
Right, and you don't have to start with glitter. Because glitter is more difficult to weed, try out Easy Weed, try out Starcraft Soft Flex. Try one of those in some of your favorite colors and weed the design and go ahead and give it a go, practice layering. with something that's a little bit easier, and maybe it will feel a little bit less intimidating if you do something like that. So definitely keep that in mind. But you don't just have to do HTV either. If you want to, add this to a notebook or, a picture frame or whatever, you could always do adhesive.
And I know there are other ways to get the layering effect as well. This is just the specific method that we have come across that seems to be the easiest and the most helpful. It's just like putting together a puzzle, and it comes together, and it's so exciting when it works. And
that's all right. Do we have any other questions before we're done?
You have several.
Okay.
Someone wants to know, what's the easiest way to weeding out the glitter vinyl?
So the easiest way is with a lot of light, I think. I think if you have a lot of light, if you're by a window, if you have, some people use light pads. Like I said before, I use a headlamp. Whatever you can do to accentuate those lines on the back of your glitter, then it will make it a ton easier for you. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I have done in the past, and I do often actually, is double cuts. So I think that before you, if you cut it one time, before you even touch it, before you even move anything, if you can send it through again and cut it again, then I would recommend doing that, and then that way it'll make your line stand out even more. This one, what did we cut this on? Glitter?
Yeah.
So we cut this one on glitter. Try light cardstock, check your blade, all of those good things.
And then someone wants to know what the thing is attached to the machine, which I think is the heat press, I'm assuming.
Oh, the Teflon sheet?
I think so.
So this is kind of like a protectant, especially if you are doing a design that requires multiple presses.
Right.
Like in our case, we were layering, so we were pressing one after another. So the Teflon sheet kind of just helps protect the previous layer that's already pressed to your shirt so that it's not getting too much heat. It helps, some people sometimes overpress, get too much temperature and their vinyl can get crinkly or a little bit burned up. So the Teflon sheet is a really good way to prevent anything like that happening. And we just attached it with some magnets to our heat press so that we will never forget it and never run into any of those problems.
That's all right.
Someone said, what tips do you have to make sure your design is straight on the shirt?
I think that finding the center of your shirt is key. So
like Marina demonstrated, before she pressed the rest of her design, she just folded the shirt in half and gave it one good press with the heat press, so it created a crease down the middle of her shirt. And there's some other measuring tips that we do also.
Yes, so another thing you can do is you can measure from one side of your design to the edge of the t-shirt and do the same on the other side to make sure that it's centered there. There are a lot of t-shirt guides and things that you can buy as well. I don't think that you need them unless you're really, really nervous about, where the placement is. But if you find the center and you go 3 inches down from the collar, you're normally going to be spot on, and that's normally where you're going to want to land.
One person, in response to how you were going to fix Tigger's eye, was many say don't layer on top of the glitter.
Yes.
Which is why we did the knockout method.
Right. You shouldn't typically layer on top of glitter. I'm just going to add the one eye and the 2 eyebrows. Okay, so the rule is that you shouldn't layer on top of glitter, but many people have had success doing it. So I don't mind going ahead and adding those final 2 finishing touches on there. I feel comfortable doing that. It's not the majority of my design. And I guess several washes down the road, I may lose the eye again. I'm not sure, but not necessarily. So, that's something I feel comfortable doing so that I can wear the shirt, or Kennedy whoever can wear the shirt, whatever. I feel comfortable doing that. But for the majority of our design, we make sure everything touched the shirt. And so, I'm pretty confident in what we've got going on here.
He's got his eyebrows, by the way. All he's missing is that one eye.
Oh.
So we're good. Just that one little eye. I know it'll be on top of the glitter, but I think it'll be okay for such a small fix.
There you go.
And then someone wants to know if you could have turned the shirt inside out after the design is done and like press it from the back to like peel the piece off, I think is what she's talking about.
Yes, so typically we do that if we figured out that we pressed something but maybe we've forgotten to weed a little section out. We will heat it from the inside and then use our handy dandy tweezers here. These are our favorites. And then just kind of pull off the area that maybe we forgot to weed, so that is something you can do. But you know, heating it from behind, remember that's loosening up the adhesive, so that's why you're able to peel off that part, so you don't want to do that too often.
Right, and other parts around that area might get a little loose as well, so maybe just once you remove that one piece you're wanting to get rid of, press it with your Teflon sheet for a few more seconds just to make sure everything's still adhered properly.
Alright, and then the last question is, what if they only have one mat?
We only use one mat. So, and maybe I made things confusing when I said Cricut separates it by mat, but I just mean like it within the software. They put each color on a mat within the software. We only use one mat to do this. So,
right, so we just cut it color by color. For Tigger, you know, we had his specific color ready to be sent through our Cricut. You know, we set this color on the mat and it cut out his part of his body. And then we went on to the next part and so on and so forth, and yeah, just one mat.
yeah, and the great thing about this is we use almost all scraps for this. So we were able to just find a section that was big enough, you know, for Eeyore, and a section that was big enough for Pooh, and maybe the nose and the outline. So, you know, this was a great project if you have several scraps at home and, you know, you've got some odd shaped sizes or whatever. This is the perfect project for that.
Definitely.
Alright, that's it.
Alright, so thank you guys for joining us. Like we said, don't forget that this SVG is on our site, available for a free download, and you know, we're always open to suggestions about other videos that you guys would like to see us go over, so please let us know.
That's right. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.